Okay, back again here. So heat and oil are your friends. Just remember that. Here's a crankshaft, a little bit of heat. I did use the press. The pinion gear came right off, which is nice. There's that spacer. I still have the bearings to deal with in here. That's not a big deal. I'm not going to worry about those right now. I had a couple other things here. This intake valve, a little bit of heat, and that thing moves now too. So now I'll be able to pop those valves out. Last thing that needed some heat was this guy. I'm hoping I got it hot enough to... Oh, man. I'm going to have to find some means. I don't have my vise in here. Some means to set this on something and tap this a little bit. Because okay, sorry my bench looks like such a wreck tonight, but... So I just have my vise here. I'm just going to set this thing on here very gently and just kind of quickly give it a couple taps, because that's all it's going to take to get that pin out. Thank you, vise. Your services are no longer needed. And there's that. Now here's an interesting thing. Back in the old days, these had Teflon bushings in here, like little spacers, washers. This age engine, it should have those, but if it's been rebuilt, they may be steel. But they're not. Teflon. Well, in later versions, I think it was a cost savings method. They replaced those with little thin steel washers, probably because Teflon was a little bit more expensive. Now I can get that other cam follower out. So there we go. Cam follower, Teflon spacers, timing gear. Now we can kind of start taking a look at some of this stuff. This is interesting. See a little bit of an impact mark on this. Let's take a little bit closer look at our piston here. Now the ring is compressed. It's not completely free. I'm hoping that the soak in the LA is totally awesome will fix that. I don't see any kind of an impact mark on the top of this piston. Look at this. I'm able to wipe a lot of that off. I don't know. Something odd about the top of this piston. I'm not going to be able to tell for sure until we get it all cleaned up, but something looks weird here. Anyway, the next step for most of this stuff is just going to be go into my parts bath. That's why I'm really not too concerned about all these parts laying here, because every single one of these is going to go in my ultrasonic cleaner. But I should be able to drop these valves out. See what's going on there. Yep, that one's coming right off. Okay, that keeper's off. Spindle's off. Now let's see if we can get it off this guy here. Rotates around, it should just pop right off. Okay, sometimes having a magnet is really a pain in the ass. Really need to get on it like this. Just like that. There we go. Alright. Now we should be able to pull these valves out of here. Exhaust valve. intake valve. Doesn't look bent or like it struck anything. It's got a little carbon buildup on it. That's about it. These gaskets, toast. Okay, so next step for all of these items is ultrasonic bath. So I'm going to stop it here, put these in the cleaner, and we'll pick it up from there. Okay, here's a real quick look at the parts that came out of the ultrasonic cleaner, just the main parts I'll show here real quick. So here's the piston. I really didn't do anything to this other than just soak it in there. The piston ring is now freed up. As you could see when I pulled this out of the engine, it had really good compression anyway, so I'm not concerned about that ring. Timing gear, nice and clean. Carb, operates freely now. Here's our crankshaft. It was kind of dirty. It's got some staining on here that won't come off, but that won't really affect anything. So the crankshaft looks nice. Our timing cover, all nice and clean. The rubber's good. We won't have to replace that. Here's our head. There's still a little bit of gasket material here that I'll end up putting a little bit more LA's Totally Awesome cleaner on with a Q-tip and just let it soak. But this head looks really nice. The valve seats look good. The back plate was really dirty. And the crankcase here. It's pretty nasty, as you saw. Now it looks nice and clean. So I did have one bearing on hand, the front bearing. I had to order some replacement rear bearings, and I found a brand new gasket set that I had for a 4E engine, which will fit this engine. So, and then here are the valves. You can see they're in nice shape. That little bit of carbon residue that was on there, I just kind of scraped that off with a razor blade. So this thing is in good shape. I just need to get that valve to, or not the valve, the rocker arm. I had to order one rocker arm, or actually I ordered a pair of rocker arms. I couldn't just get them individually, but I got a buddy on eBay that sold me a set here, so this is the one good one. All the other parts are nice and cleaned up and ready to go, so once I get these parts on hand, we'll put this engine back together.